This is not 2003. This is not endless nation building under those types of quagmires we saw under Bush or Obama. It's not even close. Our generation of soldier will not let that happen again.
You're also a part of that generation of soldier. What's your take?
What I'm worried about is not the soldiers and the people who are serving. What I'm worried about is their political leadership, like Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump. You know, we lived through a war that was sold to us on false pretenses when I was younger. This war has not been sold on any pretense. The president just went ahead and did it.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and this is not 2003. It's better now. That's what they want you to believe. That somehow this war is cleaner and its leaders are smarter, more controlled, that this isn't another one of these endless wars. But when you actually listen to what's being said, and most importantly, who's saying it, the cracks in this story start showing up immediately. And Pete Buttigieg held nothing back in an interview with Jake Tapper.
The biggest thing that has not changed is who pays the price. We have now seen 13 American service members killed. And when you prepare to go to war, the thing you think about, the thing you most dread, is your family being the ones to get that knock on the door. More than a dozen American families have now gotten that knock on the door, and the president has basically assured us that there will be more where that came from. And while they're paying the ultimate price, every American is paying some price. Right now, mortgage rates are up because of this war. Food is going to be more expensive because of this war. And of course, the price of gas that we're paying at the pump is more expensive because of this war.
And now we've got a president turning a moment of tragedy into a fundraising opportunity. We've seen our first casualties of war while Donald Trump saw dollars. Using images from a dignified transfer, flag-draped coffins in political emails, selling access to exclusive national security briefings like it's some kind of subscription service. That is despicable. You don't get to use the fallen as campaign material. You don't get to monetize grief and call it patriotism. But here we are.
So Donald Trump is facing a lot of backlash right now after using an image of a fallen soldier as part of a fundraising email. His political action committee sent out this message, and the photo comes from a dignified transfer at Dover Air Force Base. A dignified transfer is an event where the remains of U.S. service members killed overseas are brought back home, and in this case, the transfer was for 6 service members who were killed during the war with Iran. Trump attended this event with members of his administration last Saturday. Now, these affairs are considered extremely solemn, so using that image in a fundraising email is drawing a lot of criticism. In the email, the photo shows Trump saluting a flag-draped transfer case of one of the service members, and the image is surrounded by bright yellow buttons encouraging supporters to claim your spot in what the PAC calls a National Security Briefing membership.
This administration has no problem sending your sons and daughters off to war, but don't think that their deaths are worthy of news coverage. Whiskey Pete thinks that reporting on realities of war is a character attack on Donald Trump. Isn't that ironic? Those same people who claim to be pro-life, who protect the children in the name of their God, are perfectly fine killing other people's children and denying health care and services to American sons and daughters who are injured fighting in their illegal wars.
So the Trump administration argues that they needed to take action to take out Iran's nuclear weapons program and Iran's ballistic missile program because when they came into office, the Biden administration, your administration, had done nothing in 4 years to stop Iran from building a nuclear weapon, developing ballistic missiles, funding terrorism around the world. Are they wrong?
Yes, of course they're wrong. I mean, for one thing, the president assured us that the nuclear program, President Trump assured us that the nuclear program was, in his words, obliterated just a few months ago. And let's also remember that in the past, Iran's nuclear program was contained without a shot being fired. I think President Trump thought he could get a better deal than the Obama administration did. He failed to get that better deal, and he went off and launched a war without planning, without being ready for even some of the most basic things. I mean, it is a certainty that the military would have advised him that the Straits of Hormuz would have been closed, that that was a likely scenario, and yet they're talking about this and clearly acting as though they didn't think this would happen. The Secretary Hegseth went so far as to say that the Strait of Hormuz is open, other than the fact that there would be fire against vehicles transiting the strait. This is clearly amateur hour.
And here's the part they don't want to talk about. Because while guys like Hegseth are up there trying to sell this as idea that it's a war is somehow smarter, cleaner, more controlled, the reality is it hasn't even been sold to the American people at all. There was no real case made, no clear justification, no honest explanation of the end game that even looks like. Trump just did it, and now we're all left dealing with the consequences. We've already seen American service members killed, families getting that knock on the door or that notification, and that kind of moment that changes everything forever. And if you think it stops there, you're not paying attention, because it's not just the battlefield. It's here at home too. Mortgage rates creeping up, gas prices rising, food getting more expensive. Every single American family is starting to feel it, whether they realize it yet or not. And the people running this operation, they're acting like this is some kind of controlled situation, like they've got a handle on it. They don't. This is amateur hour. And if you really want to understand how dangerous this situation actually is, you have to look at what's happening behind the scenes and why we got pulled into this in the first place. You need to understand a little bit about Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu's government is far right, but it does not have the support needed to keep him in power. It doesn't have the votes, so it has to basically team up with very radical, extreme right-wing parties in Israel. These are people who believe Israel's northern border is not an actual border. They believe that border should extend all the way to the Litani River in Lebanon. And that was the point of all of this. That's why we are here. We got suckered into a conflict with Iran by Benjamin Netanyahu because our president is the stupidest damn president we have ever had. And this Secretary of War imposter is the stupidest damn Secretary of Defense that we've ever had. These idiots got us dragged into a regional conflict because Israel is invading southern Lebanon as we speak. The bombing campaign has already started. Troops are already massed on the northern border. And the moment they cross that line, that becomes a bright red line for the entire region. The Prince of Saudi Arabia loses the support of his people the moment that happens. He doesn't have a choice. He either responds or loses control.
Did you know that the big wireless carriers like Verizon and AT&T made over $18 billion in profit last year? How? By overcharging you for unlimited data, most of which you probably aren't even using. But what if you could get paid to use your phone less and only pay for the data you do use? Well, with Noble Mobile, you can. For just $50 a month on their No Bull plan, you get unlimited data, and whatever data you don't use, you get cash back right in your pocket. People who switch to Noble can save an average of $500 to $1,000 a year. It's a no-brainer. And by switching to Noble, you're directly supporting TYT and our mission of bringing you honest, independent news. So give Noble a try and make the switch today. Scan the QR code on the screen now or visit go.tyt.com/plan. That's go.tyt.com/plan.
In Syria, you've got factions that are currently fighting each other. But the second that line is crossed, they come together against Israel. The same thing that we've seen before. Then you've got Turkey to the north, who absolutely opposes any movement toward the Litani River. This doesn't stay contained. This blows up into the entire region. And Benjamin Netanyahu suckered us into attacking Iran to keep Iran tied up and out of this conflict while he makes that move. That's what this is. And that's exactly the point that Pete Buttigieg is making here. This isn't 2003. No, it's worse. Back then, they at least had to go before Congress and sell the war to the American people. Now, hell, they don't even bother. They just let Donald Trump do whatever the hell he wants. No plan, no strategy, and no accountability. Just chaos wrapped in arrogance, led by people who have no business making life and death decisions for this country. And while they're out here cosplaying leadership and pounding their chests, wearing oversized shoes, it's not them paying the price. It's us. It's American families. It's innocent people overseas. It's always all of us. And that's not peace through strength or the coming of a golden age. It's Donald Trump's running in a panic, burning everything to the ground to escape the fact that he raped children and is all over the Epstein files. Hegseth and Trump are two of the most despised people on the planet right now. But at home and abroad, their legacy won't be one of greatness either. They will be remembered as monsters for the crimes they have committed against humanity. And that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.